You got to have ball protection, no interceptions, and the big thing is execution. In order to score on this defense.
Passion led by Alyssa George at quarterback, also Marcelina Chavez, who does a lot of receiving and rushing. George runs into some trouble, gets a pocket and fires it, caught at about the 47. Good catch and brought down in Renegades territory. Reception there by the Passion gives them a first down. That was number 36, Hannah Damon.
Wow, and I think maybe a busted play on that one, but way to stay true, and Damon just being there, holding her spot, saying, hey, I'm here, I'm open, and George just found her.
And you're high on Alyssa George. You've talked highly about her all season long. She's going to develop into a great quarterback, the product out of West Liberty University, and it's right there showing off the arm cannon.
Yeah, and I didn't get a chance to talk to Coach Dave today, but I was going to ask him if she's wearing her sleeves today, because apparently last game she had a lot of things up them. So we'll see if she still has a lot of things up her sleeves, whether they're short or long. But good stop by the D, only allowed 2 yards on that last play.
Yeah, it's going to bring up 2nd and 8 for the Passion, again in Renegades territory, right about the 41-yard line. Good stop by the defensive line, led by Danielle Fournier and Spring Gamble, both of them top 10 in the WFA in tackles.
And again, I still wonder if they have bets against each other to see who's going to get the most tackles for the game.
George on the keeper is just going to rush ahead, breaks a couple of tackles, picks up the first down, cuts to the left. Another couple of yards there for Alyssa George. And in 3 plays, 2 first downs for the Passion. They are marching downfield.
You say they're taking names and not taking any slack. They're nice, quick start, and that's one of those triple threats that Alyssa George has with her arm, her mobility, and hard to take down.
Well, her favorite quote is, "You always miss 100% of the shots you don't take," from the great one, the great Wayne Gretzky. She takes a chance there on the QB sneak and picks up the first down. A beautiful day here in Revere, Harry De La Russo Stadium. I formation for the Passion. George handles the snap. A read option to the right. Will keep it. Runs into some bodies. Will pick up a couple yards there on the quarterback keeper.
Yeah, and we got Diet and Selena Pasquale on the takedown. But again, that versatility. She just kept it, and she had, like you said, she was doing the run option. She got covered up. She had that running back right behind her to just do a toss. So this will be an interesting look. That Boston seems a little bit stunned with not being able to stop him right away.
Renegades defense only giving up 8 points to the Passion back on May 7th in the victory for Boston, 46-8 the final in that game. That touchdown came in the 3rd quarter, so for Pittsburgh, a great way to start it. They can get some points on the board. George stumbles on the snap, runs into some bodies, tries to flip it out, but keeps it instead. Almost a dangerous play there, but good, smart move from the rookie quarterback to keep that one.
Right, because you don't want to chance a miss pass back and then cause a fumble and then have a turnover on that play. So smart move, keeping the ball, keeping it safe. Like we said before, ball security is going to be a big part of this.
Well, you hate to say it here in the first quarter, but 3rd down right now, this one's a big one for the Renegades defense and for the Pittsburgh Passion offense if they can convert here and try to get into the red zone. I formation again for George. Looks to the left, fake handoff, runs into some trouble. Good blocking at the line, breaks a couple more tackles, but too many bodies swarm George, and they'll stack her right at the line of scrimmage.
Wow, so many touches. We saw Charlene Casey on that. I think Selena Pasquale again kind of getting her hands on her. It's great to see that the defense is starting to step up. Now they just got to wrap and tackle and get her on that first touch.
And you see the defense really respecting the passing game, trying to stay at bay, read Alyssa George because she's so good on her feet. We'll see what they do here on 4th and 4 from the 20-yard line. Big 4th down for the Passion. They're going to go for it. Jenna Meister on the right side. Chavez in the slot. I formation. George sends the fullback. Pitches to the right. Some lane there. And taken on the right side. Trying to pick up the first down on the dive. And looks like she gets there. It's Maria Futali, the running back out of Cleveland, Ohio.
And she had quite the big game the last meeting with Boston. A lot of handoffs, a lot of running. I'm surprised looking at the stat sheet that she's not the number one rusher, but number two, just right behind Chavez. So it looks like they trade off duties every game, but kind of equally stacked.
Chavez leading the team in rushing with 13 carries, 201 yards, 3 touchdowns on the season. Meister on the right, Chavez on the left. I formation again for George. Hands it off. Picking up the yardage is Ariel Smith. And she dives ahead for a gain of about 4 on the play.
And it's interesting to see number 29, Polanek, kind of playing fullback position. She's listed on the roster as center, but they're using her size and her force to just help push through the running back.
And Hannah Damon was the linebacker usually, and she was the one that caught that big pass by George to start the drive. So really a mixture of position players here for Lisa Horton and Teresa Kahn, the co-head coaches for the Passion.
Yeah, and I imagine it's something that Boston hasn't really seen. Not that I've seen a lot of game footage, but...
Smith drops it, but hops on it. Almost a fumble there, but Ariel Smith able to just hop on that. Looked like just maybe an exchange miscue there on the handoff.
Yeah, it almost looked like she didn't fully look it into her hands and just saw the daylight in the end zone and mishandled the ball.
So another third down coming up for the Renegades, and looks like both these teams that we've talked about for Boston all season long, they don't like to kick on fourth. They like to go for it. This is a Pittsburgh team that also likes to play offense with a very hot offensive-minded offensive coordinator in Lisa Horton. Over 18,000 yards in her career. Was inducted to the Women's Pro Football Hall of Fame back in 2019. Hand off to the left. Futali cuts back to the right, and tries to bulldoze into the end zone. It's a touchdown for the Passion, and Pittsburgh starts it off with a boom.
It's a good thing they didn't bring their own militia, because, they'd be firing up the boomsticks right now. That's quite the statement for that first possession of just marching down the field and pounding that ball in.
And you talked about Futali and her game last time against Boston for Pittsburgh, and she's picking up right where she left off. Another big run twice on that drive.
Oh, little fumble on the snap. Yeah,
fumbled and thrown away.
Good attempt, but luckily red shirts were all around, and the pass falls incomplete for that point after. And I'm sure Pittsburgh's got to be fired up for many different reasons. Pittsburgh was the last team to actually beat Boston way back in 2018. And that was a regular season win for Pittsburgh. Of course, come playoffs, Boston was able to turn it around and went down and won the national championship in 2018. But with that history with them, you got to know Pittsburgh's like, no, we want this one this time. You beat us in the regular season game. You know, we've seen you once, kind of fool me once. You know, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So we'll see if they can keep this up, especially in this heat today.
Well, the Renegades riding a 29-game win streak, the longest in WFA history, coming into today, and you got to give credit to that Pittsburgh offense coming down, putting 6 points on the board against the #1 defense in the WFA.
Right, and I think we said it a little bit earlier, as did the WFA Road to Canton broadcast, that they have to execute, they got to be perfect, and they got to run the ball, and so far they've done that.
Well, Pittsburgh will kick it off here to the receiving team in Boston. Handled on the near side and picked up by Singletary. Flipped back. A little lane opens up on the right side by Ellison. And Ellison tries to flip it back, but that ball's up in the air. Almost pulled out of her hands, but strong hands by Katie Ellison. And she gets into Pittsburgh territory on that return.
That's some dangerous ball play out there, if you ask me. One thing to toss it back to maybe one of your faster backs that has some daylight, but to hold that ball up in the air with nothing but white shirts around you, I I hope one of the coaches takes her aside and says, hey, please don't do that again. I mean, some great field position, but sometimes those extra yards aren't worth it.
Well, Pittsburgh defense, one of the best in the WFA this year, coming in 4th. And points allowed, 16.7 points allowed. There's a good run up to the left side by Tuti Kusanan, and picks up about 6-7 yards on the carry.
That's right, that's Tuti, the freight train, Kusanan.
Kusanan this season, her 82nd carry on the year, over 520 yards, 10 touchdowns, at 2nd in the WFA, right behind her teammate Ruth Mata. And Shantae Bonds at quarterback for the Renegades will look to survey the field. Adrian Smith on the left side. Hands it off. Kusanan. Good carry. Nice juke. And Kusanan. A big pickup on 2nd and 5. The freight train rushes through.
Wow. Tuti, just looking at her running style and her size and her presence on the field, it reminds me a lot kind of George and maybe Chavez a little bit, but trying to take her down. Yeah, I always like to joke that Kusanan in finish is spruce, and doesn't look like there's too many lumberjacks on the Pittsburgh team right now.
It's a Renegades team come in 4-0 here in Revere. A little flip to Meckel. Meckel's going to take some blockers on the left side. She's going to turn the corner. Meckel right in the sideline. Touchdown! No, they're going to bring it back. They're bringing it back to the 11-yard line. It looks like Meckel stepped out at the 11, and they'll bring it back. It's a first down for the Renegades, but good job by Meckel to turn the corner and try to tiptoe that sideline.
What a run, and just the blocking. I mean, we've talked so much about Adrian Smith and her excellent receptions and her becoming the... whoa. I thought that was a boom, but no, it looks like somebody dropped their teeth up above us. But the blocking by Adrian Smith on that play was excellent. And again, that's, all-around player.
There's a great article in the Boston Globe this week on Adrian Smith and what she does outside of football, and obviously her accomplishments here in the WFA and her long career. It's been a journey for Smith.
That it has, and I sometimes joke too, she's got her fingers in so many pies. It's just amazing that she's still as slim as she is, with all of her business ventures and what she's doing for the sport of football. She also represents the milk campaign as well.
Kusanen going to look for a lane, cuts it back, is met there at the line by Chelsea Biggers and is taken down at about the 5-yard line. Chelsea Bigger is one of the best defensive players on this Pittsburgh team. 4th in sacks with 3 on the season. Also has a fumble recovery on her stat sheet.
And this again is where they get by with a little help from their friends. The O-line was back behind Kusanan and just giving her the extra push that she needed. I believe it was number 66, Steph Jeffers, with that extra push.
Well, Bonds looks for Abby's Road, looks for the lane, and tries to find it, but stopped just behind the line of scrimmage. So Bonds was surveying down in the end zone, but nothing opened up. Decided to go down with it. It's going to be 3rd and 5 from about the 6-yard line. Both teams really moving down the field to start this first quarter.
Yeah, we're saying it, defense is what's going to potentially win this, but I guess defense doesn't really come into play when your offense just can score at will.
Flipped over to Kusanan. She's going to stiff arm a defender, and Kusanan finds the end zone. It's a Renegades touchdown.
Once again, watch out for the freight train. I think we're going to need to have, crossing bells at some point in time when Tuti comes on the field. And there we go. That was the real boom as opposed to the people from upstairs.
What shows you the strength as well, that stiff arm there just forcing the defender to the ground to get her back into the end zone. Just a strong play. It shows you just the diversity in run game that the Renegades do have when you mix in Ruth Mata and Falkowski. They can really just hurt you different ways on the ground.
Right, and depending on who's running the ball will make the defense figure out, okay, how do we have to tackle, how do we have to cover, and it's just amazing. They all have the speed, but it's just, okay, this one's a stronger runner. you're not going to be able to just wrap her up top. You gotta wrap and drop down and take Kusanan down. Whereas Mata's got a even lower center of gravity, so you got to get low just to meet her at her force, her point of force. And Katie Falkowski, same thing. Not quite as low as Mata, but a force to be reckoned with as well. I think they both could be called pinballs. We'll just have to, pick our favorite. Maybe one's Pinbot and the other one's, daughter of Pinbot.
And if you're Boston, you got to be pretty happy on how Shantae Bonds really orchestrated that offense downfield.
Just commanding the field and reading the defense, and her football knowledge, like so many ladies on this team, is just phenomenal. Her ability to read the defense, read offenses, because she's played both sides of the ball. She did a real nice job commanding the team down the field.
Well, you and I talked before the broadcast just about how she has that experience, especially with the flag football at the QB position, and even during warm-ups, you saw her throwing some spirals there, and Adrian Smith and her shared a little good moment before the game where Smith was kind of hyping her up after a catch, and we talk about this being a game. Both teams really came to play. 5:21 here in the first quarter, and it's 7-6 Boston Renegades leading the Pittsburgh Passion.
Oh yeah, it's going to be 4 quarters, and who knows? Maybe it'd be an overtime time as well, but we'll see how that happens. But yeah, that chemistry with Smith and Shantae Bonds, that started way back when they both played for the New York Sharks, and.
Guy Lunas just ran all the way downfield on that kickoff, and it was just poorly fielded by Pittsburgh, allowing the bounce. The bounce gets away from both receivers back there. And Guy Lunas just rushing before everybody gets there.
Laid her out, stayed in her lane and made that tackle. And this is where it was a very favorable Boston bounce with that football. So, and Guy Lunas, I think I said this last time, she kind of pulled a Vicky Eddy and just laid her out.
Pittsburgh scored on their first drive. This will be their second of the evening. Again, led by Teresa Cohn, the head coach, Lisa Horton, the offensive coordinator. 239.6 yards per game for the Passion. They're 118.4, or 6th in the WFA. As the penalty there, false start on the Passions. They'll be sent back 5 yards. Replay first down.
That's something you don't want to do that far down into near end zone. Let's have a false start or illegal motion. Push you back a little bit more. So they're just backing themselves up.
Renegades defense comes in second in the WFA, 14.2 points allowed, 85 total points on the season. Most of those points came against the DC Divas in their meetings. The Divas with 28 plus points and all 3 defeats this year. Yeah, I credit DC in that last game in the conference semifinals where they really tried to respond against each Renegade score. Met at the line. Another stop behind the line of scrimmage. Aaron Diet with the tackle behind the line.
Yeah, and like Spring Gamble right behind her, just in case.
Well, Diet started off with the Boston Militia back in 2014.
That she did, yep. Because I used to play with Aaron on the New England Intensity. Then sadly in 2013, after that season, the New England Intensity folded. And the great part, though, we had a lot of great players from the New England Intensity come and join the Boston Militia, which, again, my old alma mater. And so great to see all these great players getting back together.
You talked about the players from the Philadelphia Firebirds, New York Sharks, a lot of great talent. Double reverse here for Chavez. Chavez looking for a lane, looks to cut it on the outside. Good tackle there, but it looks like might be a stop right just before the line. So probably 2 yards short of the first down. So a good pickup by Chavez on the double reverse. Going to bring up 3rd and 2.
You say Deanna Walsh, number 53, kind of saved her from getting the first down for Boston. So be interesting to see if they're going to try and pass on a 3rd and 2, or maybe just go with the run.
Talked about Walsh, 2 fumble recoveries this year on the season. That's 8th in the conference, having kind of a quiet season, but a really good season is Deanna Walsh.
She's stealthy like that.
Rush right there up the middle, but met right on the handoff, and Smith had nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go, yeah. Not when you're going up against number 70, Baby D, Danielle Fournier, and number 30, Aaron Diet. You know, together they make 100%. I just came up with that, but wow. That's a great stop.
So a big stop's going to bring up 4th downs. Looks like Pittsburgh is going to send out their punting unit.
I was going to say, looking at the stats, that Pittsburgh is one of those teams that will actually punt the ball as opposed to trying to go for it on 4th down.
Jana Meister, the receiver punter for the Passion, is back. It's kicked to the right side for Creech. A couple of hops and it gets by Creech. She's just going to let the Passion down it. Looks like it's going to roll to about the 40-yard line, so a good punt there for Jenna Meister. And the Renegades will start at the 40-yard line.
Pittsburgh looks like they thought the ball might have touched T at some point in time, but according to the refs, it doesn't look like she actually touched it. So, like you said, Renegades ball.
It's the 9th punt on the season for Meister. Averages about 22 on each. 180 yards coming into today. Her longest punt came earlier this season against the Renegades. It was 38 yards.
You got to wonder, how many times did she get called Burgermeister, Meisterburger? Just curious, yeah. Because that's how my mind works.
A lot of good names on this Pittsburgh roster. And you look at Niedermeyer, a couple of other good ones, Bova.
Exactly, Meister, Chavez, great names. Names you can have a lot of fun with.
Kusanan rushes up for a gain of about 9. And it's going to bring up 2nd and 1 for the Renegades at the 49-yard line. And the run game, which has proven to be the strength of this Renegades team, over 350 yards against the Divas in their previous game, relying heavily on it here today.
Right, and we'll see, with opening up the run game, hey, look at that. I was just going to say, it will open up the passing game. And Shantae Bonds connects with number 3, Stephanie Pasquale. And Pasquale had quite the impact against the Divas last game. And it's nice to see her getting out there and executing and having an impact on this game right now.
Yeah, fighting off injuries through the midseason. Good to see her back. She made an impact against the Divas and now picks up a big reception. Had to go up to grab that one. The wide receiver from Lawrence, Massachusetts, gives the Renegades a 1st down. Bonds sends Pasquale in motion, hands it off to Kusanan. Kusanan with the lane's going to stop and get spun down at about the 27-yard line. And Tudi Kusanan has put the Renegades on her shoulders and has picked up another 1st down.
Wow, and what a takedown. Okay, I recant my statement. I think Pittsburgh does have some lumberjacks on their team. That takedown was impressive. Just sheer brute force with pulling her down.
Well, led by Hannah Damon, 10th in tackles this year. We also talked about Chelsea Biggers. There's a pass to the left side. Meckel caught, and she'll get forced out of bounds. So Shantae Bonds, 2 for 2 throwing the ball here today and moves the Renegades downfield.
And that was Renani Meckel, number 6, is Cahill's favorite target as well. She's the number 1 receiver on the team with 200 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Meckel having an immediate impact for the Renegades. Flipped to Pasquale. Pasquale looks for the lane. Gets tackled there. Met initially by Caitlin Niedermeyer.
Niedermeyer! Sorry, again, something I have to do. But that was, good takedown. And that's the great thing about Stephanie Pasquale. She's a double threat. Well, actually, she's a triple threat because she can run the ball, she can catch the ball, and she also throws some hell of a blocks.
Bonds in the shotgun as Mata to her right. No, it's actually Falkowski, my apologies, and she's going to pick up about a yard on the carry. So Kay Falkowski, the running back from Sandwich, Massachusetts. One of that three-headed monster that the Renegades do have.
That's the end of the first quarter.
Wow. And that's the end of the first. That went so quick. I am stunned. I think that goes to show that, there weren't a lot of penalties, which was great to see. We saw a lot of great football, but wow. The clock never stops, so it just keeps on running.
Well, both teams did a really good job just kind of managing the drives, not forcing anything. We saw kind of on the special teams for the Renegades a loose ball, Katie Ellison having that kind of out there. But besides that, it's been pretty clean. We've seen one penalty, it was a false start by Pittsburgh, but they were able to kind of manage that, kick the ball out of their own kind of side of the field, and force the Renegades back into their own territory. So both teams really managing it out here in the first quarter, and now we had quarter number 2.
Yeah, and just switching it up. Part of the fun of being in stadium, you get to see Ben Brown run full field with his camera and a very large pole that holds the camera. And then we also get to see the Cahill's Army march from end zone to end zone. So everybody wave to Cahill's Army. As you can see too, if you can see, they're sporting their linens today because I think it's a balmy 87 plus degrees out here today.
It's only going to get better tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Add some humidity and fantastic.
Kusanan finds some blockers, but she's met in the backfield by Marcelina Chavez.
It's like she had a brief sign of daylight, and that quickly closed up with that Pittsburgh defense.
Chelsea Biggers calls the play defensively. Bonds, snapped. It's picked up by Kusanan. She's going to have to use her body to break free. Stays on her feet. It's going to pick up a couple more yards before she's wrapped up out of bounds. Pickup of about 7 on that play for Kusanan, which could have ended up in a turnover, but it's going to bring up 4th and about 2 for the Renegades.
That's very uncharacteristic. Could be, a little newness with Shantae playing quarterback tonight. I know she was looking over to the coaches, seeing what they were calling, and maybe there was a hand gesture or something, and then Alpo just said, "Hey, okay, here's the ball."
Well, that's definitely a not top 10 play, that one off the helmet of Bonds.
But good heads up by Kusanan with picking it up.
They're going to give it right to Kusanan, and she stopped. Looks like a face mask on the tackle. So Kusanan was met right at the line of scrimmage, but taken down by the face mask, and it's going to give the Renegades a first down inside the 10-yard line.
I'm saying my apologies for that outburst, but I was just like, ouch. You could feel that force of that pull up here in the booth. So, wow.
So it's going to put the Renegades at about the 5-yard line. First and goal for Boston, looking to increase their lead. 7-6 is the score.
Good to see Kusanan still out there. No apparent effect right now of that face mask.
Bonds looks to pass it through on the slot. It was a good cut there by Sarah Tully, but met immediately. It's kind of left her out to dry a little bit there on that pass.
A little bit, but and sadly it looked like it was just a little bit low. Just a bit outside.
She's a little short.
Tully will stay on the right side. Smith will join her. Bonds getting the call from the near sideline.
Second and goal, Boston.
Kusanan to the right of Bonds. Still trying to get it from the sidelines. Pittsburgh going to stack the line here on second and goal from the 5. Bonds gets it over to Kusanan on the left. She has some blockers in front, and Kusanan, her second touchdown on the day, and the Renegades increase their lead 13-6.
Tarabayuna scores again. All right. For those not know, that is Freight Train and Finish. That's just a great heads-up play. You saw Pittsburgh stacking the right side, and as soon as I saw that, I'm like, Tootie's going to go left. And she did. And she scored.
So Tully will line up for the extra point, but you talked about it. Kusanan has found the lanes today, followed her blockers, and so far 2 touchdowns to show for it as Tully, her extra point is good, make it 14-6, the Renegades lead.
And I can't say enough good things too about the O-line. Again, we have some phenomenal running backs. They hit the holes, but the fact that there are holes there because of the O-line. And as I say, you can tell the O-line's good because the majority of them, well, not the majority of them, but several of them are on the All-Star team, and some of them are also going to be playing for the women's national team for Team USA when they go to Finland to play in the football national championships.
Head coach for the Renegades, Sean Johnson, will be in charge of that team, leading it. And when you talk about kind of your pick of American players, there's so many good ones to pick from, so it's going to be, I mean, I wouldn't want to be in his shoes picking players for this roster.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, you just see across the boards of all the teams, you know, and I don't want to just single out the Pro Division because there are some phenomenal ladies that are playing in Division 3, Division 2, that to try and, you know, pick and choose and be like, okay, who are we going to go with? I'm going to say this is going to be like the dream team for women's football. And if I had known better, I would have gotten tickets to go to Finland. I've never been there. I hear it's really nice, and I could go and cheer on my teammates.
This is sent downfield on the kickoff, off the hands, and picked up by Lakeitha Barrett. Barrett tries to run through. Late flag comes in on the play.
Looks like it was Guy Lunas and Kishani Dumont on that tackle. It'll be interesting to see what that penalty is.
It looks like flag came in on the tackle.
What if it's maybe leading with the head or as opposed
and that's what the first official looked like he made contact towards, but it's going to be an illegal block in the back against the Pittsburgh Passion, so it's going to back them up inside their own 5-yard line, it looks like.
See, that's really pinning them back there.
We talked about it. It was the second penalty now that forces Pittsburgh back on a first down. Last time they were unable to capitalize, going 4 and out, and this time backed up to about the 7-yard line.
Pittsburgh will start on the 7-yard line.
And George is like, her heels maybe touching the end zone, so that's a tricky spot to be in, especially with some of these sacks that are happening, but smart move with running the ball.
Big run through to pick up those yards that were lost on the penalty.
3-yard additional stop.
Gain of all but 1. It's going to bring up 2nd and inches for the Passion. It's a big run there for Pittsburgh. Looks like they'll take a timeout on the field for a measurement.
Official timeout.
So the officials bring the chain gang out on the field to get a measurement on this one. 2nd and inches, about the 15-yard line. And for Pittsburgh, that's exactly what they need to do. Get back to what they did on that first drive, mix it with running and passing, and allow Alyssa George to kind of work her way out of the pocket.
Right, get that run-pass option going, making Boston figure out, okay, which is it going to be and what do we need to cover for. So it's, like you said, it's opening up the field and allowing them to start moving. Excuse me.
It's going to bring up 2nd and inches from the 15. Just a couple of chain links short.
Once again, missed it by that much.
Futali in the backfield with George. 3 receivers to the left. George going to just sneak for the first down, but it's met immediately and is pushed forward there on the tackle.
I was going to say, even with forward progress, she got it. What a great keeper, but what a great effort by the D-line, just stacking her up and meeting her immediately.
Going to get some subs on that defense for the Renegades. Coming out is Erin Diet back out onto the field. Giving a breather to Penny Fagnani.
And we see number 65, Mina Roberts, who we called out quite a few times at the last game as well. I think another rookie on the team. And she's making her presence known.
George in the shotgun. 2 receivers to her right. Hands it off. Big lane opens up on the far side for Futali. Futali taken down right at the line to gain.
Good for Pittsburgh.
And Cara Galunas has been involved in a couple of big tackles. That one right at the line is going to be a first down for the Passion as they get right back to the running game, and it's been working out here on this drive.
Right. I mean, great tackles, but yeah, we gotta. Boston needs to stop them advancing the ball so much.
John Johnson, also the head coach, but handles the defensive calling play duties. Fournier tried to break through, but good tackle at the line. Jumping ahead for a gain of about 1 is Futali.
And as I like to say, that's our elder stateswoman, Charlene, number 36, Casey.
Casey, the product out of Lawrence, Massachusetts. She's not playing, she's an athletic trainer.
She also does double duty at the library on Sundays. But when she has Sundays off, every once in a while, she is allowed to come to Schwartz's tailgate. And by allowed, meaning her employer allows her to go.
Renegades going to take a timeout here with 11 on the clock in the second quarter. 2nd and 8 for Pittsburgh coming up on the 30. And, you know, we have this chance to just talk about that tailgate because the season's almost ending for the Renegades, depending on what happens here today and the next couple of weeks. But you getting ready for tailgate season?
I am starting to get ready for tailgating season, yeah. I'm excited this year because the Bears are coming to town again. And when the Bears come to town, that's when Schwartzy starts doing the Chicago Fair. So previously I've done Italian roast beef, and if you've ever had an Italian roast beef in Chicago, they are fantastic. Now, of course, the big thing with Italian roast beefs, do you want it wet? Do you want it with cheese? Do you want it with hots? And so, me, I like the roll a little bit wet, so a little bit of that cooking juice, and then yeah, that hot giardiniera on top of it. Ooh boy, oh so good, and nice melted cheese.
But we are in Revere, and Kelly's roast beef is a good staple around these neck of the woods.
That it is, and it's actually not far from the stadium. So if they're open late, I might be hitting them up.
We get ready for the start of the second quarter here with 11 minutes left following the timeout from the Renegades. It's 14-6, Boston leading Pittsburgh. Put a light snap there. Chavez going to handle it. She's met immediately on the defensive end. A good stop there by the Renegades. Megan McFadden.
Megan McFadden on the stop.
It was nice to see Baby D kind of get up in there and put her hands up. Not quite enough. George had the forethought to be like, okay, I got to throw over her.
3rd and 4.
But good coverage, like you said, by Megan McFadden and Deanna Walsh to meet her.
Brings up 3rd and 4 for the Passion. Gonna get some substitutions in. They bring in Eden Pleva, the offensive linewoman. Will move right under center. Looks like a delay of game penalty. Passion were late to break the huddle. So illegal formation for the Passion. It's going to back them up. And again, another penalty, the 3rd one today against Pittsburgh, that comes at the wrong time.
Right. I mean, they just start getting momentum going. They're moving the ball. And here they are. They're kind of shooting themselves in the foot, backing them up, having to get, regain that yardage that they just lost.
Pittsburgh team that won 2 IWFL championships back when the Independent Women's Football League was around, and really became a staple in that league, and it allowed them to come back to the WFA and play in the pro division after doing what they were able to do in the IWFL.
And it's nice to see them back because it's, again, they're bringing the level of competition that you want to see in this pro division.
George going to throw it downfield. Had a receiver just getting spun around in the backfield was Jana Meister, but good play there on the fake handoff. Really kind of a great play action there for the Passion.
It was, and she was behind the defense, so if that ball connected, she was, bye-bye, heading down to the end zone.
Alyssa George trying to take a page out of Lisa Horton's playbook, trying to gun down field. It's going to bring up 4th and 8, and Meister's going to go back to punt this one on the 30-yard line. Again, this is a speedy Pittsburgh team, so you really can't take these special team opportunities lightly. Can run a fake at any moment and be successful on it.
That they can, and I think they have done that in the past as well. So, tough one to cover.
A couple of blockers on the left side. Meister gets ready. Snap is on its way, and she'll kick it downfield. This one's a high arcing with a nice little spiral. Creech on the return. Handled nicely off the fingertips, and she's going to get taken down about the 49-yard line here for Boston. Good starting field positioning for the Renegades.
You say a nice job by, was that, no, that was T. Creech, right? We're just looking it into her hands, you know. In the past, she's had some troubles with kickoffs, but it looks like she's definitely honed her craft and was able to just reel that in. And then, granted, not great return on the yardage, but hey, ball possession, kept it safe. You still can't complain about being on the 48-yard line.
Renegades will start 1st and 10 on the 48. Bonds back at quarterback. Tully on the right side. Smith on the far side of the field to the left, with Kusanan in the backfield with Bonds. Tully in motion. Bonds takes the snap. Kusanan tried to cut it back to the left, but she's met at the line of scrimmage and taken down there by the Passion. Maybe a gain of 1 as she moves forward.
Yeah, Pittsburgh sniffed that out pretty quickly, and Kusanan tried to redirect several times, but there were white jerseys all around just to meet her.
It's a Pittsburgh team, really, you know, after a year off last year, had a chance to kind of rebuild their program, get the players that they wanted, hold the tryouts that they needed to, and, you know, you look at their record 5-2. This is a team that has a great history and continues to kind of build. They have great support in the city of Pittsburgh.
I mean, and just the fact that Franco Harris is a part of the team, too. I believe he's a co-owner.
Falkowski breaks a couple of tackles, keeps the legs chugging, and she's taken down at about the 30-yard line. A first down pickup by Falkowski.
Nice, and that's that, you know, fresh set of legs. Kusanan has been doing, you know, a majority of the heavy lifting, and then we got Falco just coming in and being able to run that ball very quickly.
Very active on Twitter is Falkowski. She likes her social media.
That she is. And I love the fact, too, that she's taking what she's learned here with the Boston Renegades and applying it. She has become a football coach. And I'll have to check her social media to figure out which high school team. But I think it's great that the high school team reached out to her to be a coach for them. And she's like, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is my new opportunity. And she's so excited to be able to do that.
We see the opportunities continue to grow for coaching, especially women coaching in football. Big takedown there by Falkowski. Renegades are trying to go quick there, but Aaron Truex had an injury. He had to quickly get out and onto the sideline.
It looks like number 99, Molly Winston, is taking her place for her.
Winston, a big presence on that right side of that right guard position.
33.
Bonds looks for the pass on the near side off the fingertips of Pasquale. It's going to bring up 4th down here for the Renegades, and it seems like she's just getting a little too much air under her passes and not giving it enough zip. So Bonds will try to make those adjustments.
I imagine, yeah, then the upcoming plays. And, you know, it could be, you know, a little bit of excitement, a little bit of nerves, too, because Bonds hasn't been in at quarterback yet. She does have, you know, her previous experience, like we were talking about with flag. But, yeah, somebody coming to pull your flag versus somebody coming to, you know, hit you into the dirt. Slightly different pressure.
Smith moves over to the right side. Kusanan in the backfield. Bond's going to hand it off to Kusanan. Looks for a lane on the left. And she's stopped just a yard short to gain. And the Pittsburgh Passion defense stands tall, forces a turnover on downs.
Well, and that's, yeah, not something you see often with Boston. This is where Pittsburgh has now made a stop. Boston has made a couple of stops. And we'll see if the defense can come back and make yet another stop. Still a lot of field to go for Pittsburgh, but they make those connections, and they can, you know, potentially score another one. What we got left? Yeah, definitely within the 7 minutes left of the first half.
Well, the first drive, they were successful, went downfield, scored 6 points. In that drive, 0 penalties. In each of their last 3 drives since, they have had at least 1 penalty, and they've had to punt each time. George with the handoff. Looks to rush on the right side. Nice little stiff arm there. Breaks free and picks up about 3 yards. Instead of going out of bounds, she's just going to chug those legs along. Gets pushed forward for a gain of about 4 or 5 yards on the play. And Alyssa George meeting physical force with physical force.
Yeah, and that's just intestinal fortitude on George's part. I mean, no. I'm going to make you take me down. I'm not going to run out of bounds. I'm going for that extra large. She's leaving everything on the field, and that's something you like to see anytime you play football. It's like, nope, I'm not giving up. I'm not taking the easy way out. I'm not going out of bounds.
2nd down and 6 from the 27 here in the second quarter. I want to thank you guys for joining us. Luis Sanchez with Catherine Schwartz here at Harry De La Russo Stadium in Revere, Massachusetts. The WFA National Pro Division Championship game. Winner goes to the Super Bowl, and there's a cut back by Futali, but a nice tackle there by Creech, and Creech really prevented a touchdown.
Definitely. There were some great blocks on those plays. You just saw, arms trying to reach out, but the blockers were there clearing the path for Futali. And Creech with that, like you said, touchdown save and tackle.
Futali, one of the rookies, again joining the Passion this year from Cleveland State University. He's a diversity and inclusion strategist. Also enjoys weightlifting and fashion on her off time. Favorite movie is Ice Age. One of my favorite movies too. I love that movie.
It's an enjoyable movie. I am a little bit older, so I have some other favorites. But hey, you pick your movie, you stick with it, and that's the good thing.
Oh, so what's your favorite movie?
Oh God. Okay.
I'll try to limit it to favorite Disney movie.
Favorite Disney movie. Actually, I'm gonna go really out. Well, anyone who knows me knows that one of my favorite movies is Muriel's Wedding.
Okay.
But let's say animated.
See, I was gonna get you there too, because I was gonna say Miracle. Miracle's a Disney movie, so
that is a great one. I love that movie. But this is kind of an old school one. I like Robin Hood.
Okay.
Yeah. With
classic Robin Hood.
Fox. Yep.
Okay.
With the foxes, and Little John is the big bear.
2nd and 8, almost intercepted the throw intended downfield for Meister. George has looked really good dropping back. Those are some dimes she's throwing, but just out of the fingertips of Meister.
I was going to say, and it looked like Singletary. She's kicking herself for just missing that ball. She just zoomed in. I think she was tracking the ball all the way, and George didn't apparently see her. And yeah, wow, what a play!
Singletary could have had another pick on the season. T. Creech leads the WFA with 4 interceptions. 3rd and 8 for the Passion on the 40-yard line. A big 3rd down for Pittsburgh with less than 5 minutes to play here in the second quarter.
And you can hear the crowd getting into it, doing the clamp of the stop.
George going to roll out to the right, looks downfield, met immediately, and taken down is George. A big stop by Salina Pasquale.
And those in the know, that is Peanut Butter's sister Fluff.
We got Fluff Pasquale. 18 down.
So a big stop there for the Renegades, going to force George back. It's going to be 4th and 17 for the Passion on the 31-yard line.
Wow, and that's Boston's defense just stepping up their game.
Pasquale really just broke through that offensive line, and George had nowhere to go as she rolled right into the arms of Salina Pasquale.
And so, yeah, she stuck to her just like Fluff on peanut butter.
High snap. Meister looks to the right, going to kick it off.
Interesting. Oh.
Found the lane, and this one's just going to roll to the 40, now inside to about the 36-yard line. And Meister was looking for a lane there. Katie Ellison took a big hit on that kick.
It almost looked like the turf kind of took her feet out from underneath her. I'm hoping it's not a one of those, the turf grabbed your shoe and your knee went the other way. That is not something that the defense wants to see, because Katie Ellison has definitely been a presence this entire year.
It's kind of good to see her kind of move on her own free will, get back to her back, and have a discussion with the athletic trainers out on the field. Going to be assisted up to her feet, and that's a tough cookie there, that Katie Ellison.
That she is, but it looks like, yeah, she's getting a little assistance off the field. Oh, ankle. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, that's not something you want to see.
Yeah, you got to make sure that she gets attended to as she tries to keep that ankle off the turf.
Yeah.
So Katie Ellison will be assisted to the sideline, and the mentality for the Renegades all season long has been next player up. We've seen it here throughout the regular season and now throughout the playoffs.
So we'll see next player up for KD. We've definitely seen it on the offense when it comes to the running backs. It's like, okay, I'm a little tired, I'm a little winded. Falkowski, you're up. Okay.
Bond's going to hand it off to Kusanan. Kusanan gets the lane, picks up the first down, absorbs some contact, stiff arms the defender, and good job there on the tackle by Hannah Damon to just hold on for dear life as Kusanan was rushing down.
Exactly, just, let me hold on to your shoe. I'm surprised that Damon didn't take Tootie's shoe off with that tackle, because Tootie just kept on chugging along. So again, I think Freight Train is just such a great nickname for her. She's more than the little engine that could.
First down for the Renegades. Bonds looks downfield for Tully, just over the shoulder of Sarah Tully, and incomplete. Looked like Sarah just took the wrong route on that one, got kind of spun around on the pass, but probably Shantae Bonds' biggest bomb downfield so far.
And I can say that Tully had the steps on her, and if she could only have just pulled that in, that could have been another potential touchdown.
2nd and 10 for the Renegades, and you got to credit the coaching staff here, giving Bonds opportunities to throw the ball and not just forcing the run down against Pittsburgh. Bonds cuts back, now cuts it through the middle, now back to the outside. Bonds cuts right back into the inside and then goes down right at the first down marker. So it looks like a first down by Shantae Bonds there on the pickup of 11 yards on the run.
Shantae, you stay. And we talked about this a little bit earlier in the pregame that, she's not a triple threat. She's a quadruple threat because she can run, she can pass. She does a great handoff. But she also knows defense. And so by playing defense and knowing the defense, she can read the defense. She followed her linebackers on that run, and she had a great scramble.
Yeah, a couple of cutbacks there to kind of fool the defense, get them to bite, and open up some more space. So she picks up the first down. It's 1st and 10 for Boston on the 37. Bond's going to keep it on the handoff. Good little play fake there with Kusanan moving to the left. It's been dangerous, and she's followed her blockers, and that kind of opened it up through the middle for Shantae Bonds.
Wow, and I was going to say 5 yards every play? I'll take that. Just like I'll take 4 yards every play.
Late substitutions here for the Passion defensively. Meister comes in to play cornerback here on the near side against Tully. Tully in motion. Bond's going to flip it to Tully. Looks for a lane. Chavez had it beat on her, but Tully gets upended and right to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1 there by Tully.
You see, that was Rebecca Airgood on that tackle and just stood her up with the takedown.
Yeah, it looks like Airgood's winded on that one.
I was going to say, I wouldn't be surprised with, she had to actually look like she had to bend down to reach Tully just because of Tully's height, but hopefully she'll be okay and just got the wind knocked out of her, like you said.
Darica Moore as well in on that play for the Passion, and got to credit the Passion defense. They've really forced this Boston offense to work, and 2:15 here in the second quarter and 14 points allowed. You got to be happy about that if you're a Pittsburgh fan.
You most definitely do. Because holding this Boston explosive offense to just 14 points in the first half is incredible. We'll see how this goes as the game progresses. But if they can keep it this tight, it's going to be a nail biter.
Both teams have really shown to play better in the second half this season.
Yep, they've been able to make the adjustments and key off of that. So that's coaching as well.
Bonds takes the snap, gives it up to Kusanan, runs into her line, but picks up the yardage needed for the first down. So Kusanan with a gain of 5. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Renegades.
Sorry, I had to do the train whistle.
Kusanan trying to catch up with Ruth Mata here on the yardage today. Started the day at 522. Well over 600 now on the season. Now Falkowski breaks a couple of tackles, pushed forward, and now a big stop there at the line to gain. But Katie Falkowski as well has absorbed the contact today and has kept those legs moving to pick up the additional yardage.
She is one solid individual. I think I've mentioned previously that she's done Haymakers for Hope, so has taken on boxing. But she's also very much into CrossFit. She used to own her own CrossFit gym, recently sold it, but still partakes in the daily CrossFit workouts. And I don't know if anyone else has experienced people who have done CrossFit. I can't say done CrossFit because I haven't done CrossFit, but I don't want to say they're a little bit insane, but they're insane about their workouts. They are dedicated to it, and those are some brutal workouts that they do. Flipping tires and box jumps and burpees. Thank you, no.
Bonds had a receiver in the end zone, was Pasquale, but just overthrew her. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10 from the 15, and stoppage on the field was just to get a measurement and move the chains down to make it first down. It would have been 2nd in inches for the Renegades. But you talked about it. It's just a different beast of a workout when you're in CrossFit.
Yes, it is, and I've heard it's really good for you. Again, not my cup of tea, but the strength that it builds, the agility that it builds, you can see that it's been working tremendously for Katie Falkowski.
Under a minute remaining here in the first half. Renegades at the 15. Bonds takes the snap, has some pressure from behind. Tully with the reception down at about the 10-yard line.
Great that she came up with that. Once again, a little bit low, but Tully kept her eyes on it, was able to snag it in and then protect the ball.
Renegades going to keep the clock running, try to kill off as much time here and not allow Pittsburgh much time to work with. 3rd and about 4. Falkowski met at the line, wrapped up by Jacqueline Cook, old lineman from North Canton, Ohio. And Boston will take a timeout here with 24 seconds remaining before halftime.
And Katie Falkowski, as I said, she's taken on a coaching position for the Barnstable High School. So congrats to Barnstable High School for getting, I think, someone who's going to be a phenomenal coach and just great motivator for your football team.
Falkowski coming into this game for the Renegades, 51 carries on the year, 256 yards, 4 touchdowns, 16th in the WFA in yards.
Just another force to be reckoned with on this very versatile Boston Renegades offense. It's great when you have 2 good backs. When you got 3 good backs, it's just so much better because you rest one. Okay, you go. All right, run your heart out. All right, next game, your turn. Fresh legs, run your heart out, and just keep pounding that football.
And that's kind of felt against the DC Divas. It was Ruth Mata game 1. Tudi Kusanan in game 2, and then really a mixture of Falkowski and Pasquale in game 3. There's a rush to the left side, and looks like the Renegades are short of the line to gain. And the 2nd consecutive time Pittsburgh has stopped Boston in the offensive zone.
And because they changed the position, that stops the clock as they change out.
So 17 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter, and we'll see what Pittsburgh has up their sleeve if they want to end it kind of just killing the timeout, or if they'll try to go downfield and get something going here with 16 seconds and all 3 timeouts.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they try to air it out a little bit. With George's arm and accuracy and the speed of her receivers, yeah, they can make a quick strike. We say we'll go back to the old Patriot references, but almost 17 seconds. That's a lot of time to leave on the clock for a very powerful offense.
George drops back, Rushes to the right side. Some pressure from behind from Fournier. And George just going to run out of bounds at about the 18-yard line. So gain of 8 there on the scramble.
So taking a lot of time off the clock with that scramble. Good heads up to try and get as much as possible, but looks like Charlene Casey was on the sidelines forcing her out of bounds. So well done by number 36, Charlene Casey.
Pittsburgh will take a timeout. 2nd and 2. Again, like you mentioned, 7 seconds on the clock. And Pittsburgh will try to eye something downfield, try to get something going. And if somebody gets behind the defense, Alyssa George's going to take her shot. Exactly.
This is the perfect time to do a Hail Mary. And, again, with her arm strength and her receivers and, their ability to get behind the defense, I would be surprised if they don't air it out. Excuse me.
Ball will be on the 17-yard line for Pittsburgh as both teams break the huddle and heading into the half. This is the lowest amount of points for the Renegades, 14. And a good showing, both defenses showing up here in Revere.
Yep. And it looks like Boston's going to be playing the pass because it looks like we've got a lot of the smaller, faster linebackers on the field.
Brianna Gallo
get behind,
kind of a prevent zone. George looks to find a hole in the middle. George, couple of jukes, shimmy shakes, and she's taken down at about the 37, but time expires here in Revere. 14-6 is the score as we head to halftime. And Schwartzy, this has been a good one so far here in this championship semifinal.
That it has been, and you can say you're going to have to stay tuned throughout the whole game to see who's going to be the winner of this game, but I think it's coming down to those defensive stances of which defense is going to make the most stops to prevent these high-powered offenses from scoring.
Well, Pittsburgh started it off with a running touchdown by Futali to make it 6-0. It's been Boston ever since. Back-to-back touchdowns by Tuti Kusanan. It's 14-6 here at the half.
There we go. And not sure if we're going to continue, or are we? All right, and we are back from halftime. Both teams have returned to the field, and Boston will be receiving at the beginning of the second half.
14-6 the score as we get into the second half of this game, and a good one so far here in Revere, Massachusetts, between Boston and Pittsburgh. It's really been a fun one and really dominated on the ground by both teams to start this one. It started off with a run by Maria Futali. To start it off, Pittsburgh scored first, but then it really seemed like they stalled out offensively. This Boston defense responded and allowed them to score 2 touchdowns. Tudi Kusanan has been the workhorse for the Renegades.
That she has, and I think this is going to be a nail-biter, and we said it before, it's going to be a defensive battle. Which defense is going to make the most stops, and also which team is going to commit the fewest penalties. Turnovers haven't really been an issue at this point in time, but we'll see as the game progresses and is extended. We'll see how well that goes.
Fielded by Dumont, cuts it to the left, goes up past midfield, gain of a couple more yards there, and the Renegades will start in Pittsburgh Passion territory.
So that's a good sign for the beginning of this half. Good return by Dumont, as you said.
Boston on the 47-yard line.
And we'll see how Pittsburgh defense is going to hold up. I think on both sides of the ball, it'll be interesting to see how the defenses are holding up with this heat, and which team has done their conditioning, done their hydration. I think that'll all show as we progress.
Well, Katie Ellison returns to the sideline and having coach conversation there with the coach as that one's dropped by Kusanan, and she'll pick it up, spins away, and drives a tackler with her to about the 42-yard line.
Wow, that I thought that was a broken play just immediately, and thought we were going to have an immediate turnover, but Kusanan is just that good and that focused that she was able, got the ball and still got 5 yards on that play.
How about Shantae Bonds? Cool, calm, and collected here at the quarterback position, really guiding this offense. Trips to the left, swung over to Meckel, but the pass just low. It was not a backwards pass, so it's incomplete.
And, well, I was going to say, I don't know if you've had a chance to talk to Shantae at all. She is cool, calm, and collected in her personal life as well. she's the, I don't want to say a smooth operator, but she is just so, she's smooth, she's cool. She's just a wonderful human being. And the fact that it shows in her playing ability is just awesome to see.
Trips to the left, Kusanan goes to the right, throws a block, pass complete on the near side to Meckel, and she's taken out at the 30-yard line after the first down. And at first it doesn't succeed. Try it again.
Try again, exactly. I mean, and I think Pittsburgh knew it was going to come again, and but Boston had their blockers in place, and that just shows you that they have the talent to block those defensive players out of the way for Meckel.
Trips again to the left. This time it's handed off to Kusanan, has some blockers in front, gets a lane, protects that ball as she's taken down. It's a good tackle there by the Passion as Kusanan was trying to find a lane, but in on that play was Nija Brocraw.
And kind of leading the way again was number 66, Steph Jeffers, at just blocking women and taking names.
Kusanan stumbles on the handoff, throws a stiff arm, absorbs some contact, now rushes into a couple of bodies. The tackle is going to push her forward to about the 5-yard line.
And just look at that leg strength on Kusanan. It's like you see her just, she's digging her feet into the turf and just pushing that tackler down. I'm sorry, I wonder if she does CrossFit with Katie Falkowski. That's what I want to know.
Just throwing the tires over and over. Smith, the trips receiver on the left. Kusanan gets the handoff here from Bonds. Drives her feet again, but she's taken down at about the 1-yard line. So Kusanan gets close to the end zone, but stopped just shy.
And again, just that ball security, the arm strength. You see all the Pittsburgh arms reaching in, trying to pull her arms away. And Kusanan is just like, nope, not going to happen.
It's going to be second and goal from the 3.
Second and goal.
Renegades get their substitutions in. They send out Latoya Salters. Lions at the quarterback position. Looks like an early motion there by Falkowski.
And this is where, penalties are going to come into play. So close, knocking on the door, but
it's going to push the Renegades back 5 yards on the false start. So back to the 8-yard line they go.
Second and 8 for Boston.
Shayna Lyons, the Boston native, fakes the handoff to the right. Now gives it up over to Salters, and she's met. Great defensive stop again by the Passion. Not fooled on that play.
Not at all, yeah. They're doing those square ends again, but sadly not productive on that play.
Third and 8.
So Mata and Falkowski will be out there, as you talked about, in that square ends position. Kusanan will be the running back.
This is the first time I think we've seen Mata out there.
Lions sends Mata in motion to the right side. Fake handoff, but it's Kusanan who just bulldozes her way into the end zone. And it's a hat trick for Tuti Kusanan. Another touchdown for the Renegades.
And there goes the boom. I think in my previous life I wanted to be a train conductor, I think. Nothing like a train whistle, I gotta say.
Please stop up and let me know. I would like to wish a happy birthday to our very own.
But now we'll see too that so this is 3 for Kusanan. Will they start mixing it up and start sharing the wealth for those touchdowns?
That's what the Renegades did against the Divas. It seemed like once Kusanan got her 3, they gave it to Mata. Mata got her 3, and then it was kind of a mixture from there.
Yep, I love how they just spread it around. And I'm not sure if you heard our PA announcer. Today is Coach Vernon Crawford's birthday. We'd like to wish Coach Vern the most happiest of birthdays. We love you, Coach, and I'll see you in the alumni parking section on game day. Because it's always nice going to Gillette and seeing Coach Vern, and always welcomes me with open arms and a big, huge bear hug.
Well, you talked about the other side with Pittsburgh having some great former NFL athletes. The Boston Renegades, even before their Renegades started the militia, it seems like Boston football teams have had a great presence with the New England Patriots and their former players as well.
That we have. I mean, we had Coach Derek Beasley, used to play for the Patriots.
Now a great athletic director at Cathedral High School.
Ah, there you go, yeah. And I think he was coaching men's football in the women's off season. But yeah, we've had so many players, and they've just all been great, being able to share their knowledge and take the players seriously, and not just think, oh, these are just women want that. No, they're like, hey, you get down, you drop and give me 20, and I don't want to hear you cry about it.
21-6, the Renegades have opened up their lead here in the third to start. It's a big takedown on the tackle by the Renegades.
Guy Lunas,
my lord. Guy Lunas.
Passion will be forced back into their own starting position.
Like I say, Damon definitely lowered her shoulder into that run, but Guy Lunas had nothing to do with that and still took her down. Wow. Talk about, authority with just taken down with authority. That's what I was trying to say. Taken down with authority. Oof.
11:09 here in the third. Renegades on defense for the first time in the second half. Pittsburgh first time on offense. They hand it off and a good run to start this one by Futali, and that's how it started off to start this one for Pittsburgh, establishing the run game. They'd opened up some passing opportunities for Alyssa George.
And Fatali's got, she's got some quick legs on her, able to make those breaks in the holes and just sprint forward. But she doesn't realize that we've got Spring Gamble and Selena Pasquale also on the D-line that will meet you with authority.
Futali with over 180 yards now on the season. Averages 4.6 per carry. Her second rushing touchdown. Looks like a penalty in the backfield. It's going to stop this one.
Oh.
So false start on the offense, and a very late flag there by the officials. It looked like George was already out of the pocket when the flag came out.
Yeah, so that's interesting to see. Yeah.
Maybe, from what I see up here, and maybe it's just our angle, but the near side official maybe doesn't have a flag, so he had to call it out to the head official. Because usually you'll see it fly in from the near side, but this one came a little delayed from
the backside. Yeah. That could be, although I don't know. It's kind of like, was he never a Boy Scout, not prepared? I mean, even I carry a hanky with me at all times because that's what I was taught as a child. So I mean, as an official, you would imagine that they'd always have their big yellow hankies with them as well. And we got delay a game. It looks like. On Pittsburgh.
So this one forcing Pittsburgh back again.
They are not on the same page right now. You got to wonder what's going on with them right now, because they had some good momentum. They're moving the ball, but now they've shot themselves in the foot twice.
So it's going to be 2nd and 15. George, spiral to the near side for Chavez. Great defense on the near side by Megan McFadden. Got her arm out and deflected that pass.
That was impressive. That was impressive. Good job, McFadden. And not someone's name who we have called recently. So it's nice to see her kind of stepping up and taking on that role of deflecting the pass.
Now on the opposite end, you really haven't seen a lot from Marcelina Chavez here today. The Renegades have done a good job keeping her in check, but for Pittsburgh, it's a good job trying to get her going here to start the second half.
Exactly. If you can get that going, you can move that ball and advance it. And that was one of the keys to the game, is not only George's accuracy, but getting Chavez involved in it too.
Another flag from the far side on the rush. It's a double handoff. Chavez trying to absorb the contact, but again, it's McFadden with a big stop in the backfield, and it looks like a illegal block in the back from the offense.
Ooh.
So this one might push Pittsburgh back yet again.
Wow. I was going to say, it's like the old cheerleading cheer of pushing back, shoving back, way back.
So a penalty is declined.
You're just going to make them, redo that play, lost it down.
So Renegades defense really came out of that locker room and has forced this passion offense into some mental mistakes. It's going to be 3rd and 15 from the 29.
And we'll see if they're going to try and get the air attack back out there.
Actually, it looks like it's going to be 4th down. Fourth and 15.
So
Meister's out there for the punt. I was a little confused there.
Same, and I'm like, wait, they're quite bunched up for.
So Meister handles the snap. Just shanks it to the near side, and that's going to be a punt that goes about 5-6 yards from where she kicked it.
Yep, and this time Coach Johnny Johnson didn't have the hands to handle that ball. But Shanky McShankerson, that just, maybe it was the 2 shots in the foot that caused her to do that.
Well, if you're Boston, this is a good chance to kind of put your foot on the pedal and open this one up against Pittsburgh, who's hung around. And, again, this is a Boston team that's dominated statistically all season long. And, we talk about it all the time. When you get to playoff time, anything can happen. But if Boston can put another one in the end zone, you got to think that might hurt some of the pride for the Passion.
I would agree on that one, yeah. They need to capitalize on this possession and just, drive that nail home, so to speak.
Well, Pittsburgh did a great job ending the second quarter with a couple of big stops and turnover on downs. And if they could get back to that here on this side of the ball, then they'll have themselves a game. But so far, it's been Kusanan to lead the rushing for the Renegades, and she'll pick up about 3 yards there on the play to bring up 2nd and 7.
Looks like they went heavy on the right side with Crooks right next to Truex.
Back over to Kusanan. Yep. Came right back to the middle. Is going to pick up another 4 or 5 yards on the play.
Speaking of Hillary Crook, today is Hillary Crook's birthday as well. So happy birthday, Crookshanks.
Summer birthday is always some of the best. Off the hands of Bonds, but she picks it up, gets some trouble, and it's taken down in the backfield by Ashley DeSico.
That could have been trouble, but luckily she was able to pick it back up and maintain possession. But yeah, I am also a summer birthday. It's lots of fun, except when you're in school, and then all your friends go, well, quote unquote friends, go away for vacation, so nobody comes to your birthday party. Or maybe that was just me. I don't know. But but how about you? Are you a summer birthday as well?
I'm a winter break birthday, early January.
Nice. Okay.
There's a pass off the fingertips of Kusanan, and we talked about this being a big play for the Renegades to get some points. That's a big defensive stance for the Passion. They get the ball on their 32.
Yep. It's like not being able to capitalize when you're so close. Pittsburgh's got to be happy with that stop, and that could just give them the motivation they need to be like, okay, offense, let's get our heads in the game, let's execute, let's stay focused, let's all get on the same page. Hopefully Boston will be the same way with their defense and be able to make the stop, maybe even get a pick or something like that. This would be a great time for a forced fumble.
For Pittsburgh, things really turned around after that May 21st loss against the Detroit Venom. They scored 36 against DC, and we were both, after seeing that result, you and I were kind of like, hey, look at Pittsburgh, that's a big win.
Right, and I figured it was going to be a rebuilding year or a building year, everybody getting on, into the same groove. Ooh, a reverse.
They do it again, and it's a couple of flags come back out. So Pittsburgh just struggling on the formation here on this double reverse. It's 2 times they've gone this way, with Chavez getting it from Molarski. But both times it's been illegal formation penalties that have sent Pittsburgh back after a gain.
That's, yeah. Oh, a little false start action. Or, no. Or,
so moving early.
Illegal motion, yeah. So. That's again they almost get that momentum, but it's like no, not again. But yeah, we were talking about how the score from the Boston game, the 46-8, I don't think was reflective at all of the game. Pittsburgh put up a great fight, and while the results don't truly show how that game progressed. We both said they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, and they are.
Futali met in the backfield, no gain on the carry. Maybe a loss of 1 there by Futali, and it's going to bring up 3rd down.
There we go, and this is a big shout-out because that was Penny Fagnani, and I have to tell her mom hi. Hi, Mom, from Penny. She made that play, she made that stop, and so well done. Well done. She had requested that. She's like, hey, when I make a good play, can you please give a shout out to my mom? Or maybe it was I love you, Mom. Either way, way to go, Mom.
6:02 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Renegades leading 21-6 over the Passion. George, fake handoff, looks for a lane, but met in the backfield. Good stop in the backfield, this time by Nicole Gordon.
I think, number 40, that was Selena Pasquale. So now's the time for some Fluff trivia. Fluff, for anyone not from the New England area, is a lovely marshmallow sandwich topping. And there's always been some debate of, was Fluff created in Somerville or was it created in Lynn? Well, here's a little history from the official Marshmallow Fluff page. The origins of Marshmallow Fluff go all the way back to 1917. So before World War I, a Somerville man named Archibald Query had been making it in his kitchen and selling it door to door. But due to wartime shortages, it forced him to close down, and he was willing to sell the formula. So 2 guys who were graduates of Swampscott High, we have H. Allen Durkee and Fred L. Maurer. They pulled their monies together and they bought the fluff recipe for a mere $500. And in May of 14th, 1920, they started manufacturing that great tasty marshmallow treat up in Lynn. And so fluff has its origins in both Somerville and Lynn. And if you happen to be in the Somerville area, I believe it's I think around the September time frame, they have a fluff festival, and you can dress up as your favorite fluff concoction, whether it's a fluffernutter or maybe it's the homemade fluff fudge. It's a great time.
Always a New England favorite as well, as George rolls out to her left, avoids a tackle, but no, it's Danielle Fournier. A tackle for loss by Fournier, as that's a turnover on downs.
Booyah. So let's see now if Boston can capitalize on this. So Danielle Fournier, again, is showing time and time again why she was last year's Defensive Player of the Year. I can't wait to see when those superlatives are announced at the end of this year to see, okay, who's going to get it. Will it be Danielle again, or will it be, somebody else? But she's definitely rocking up the points here tonight. And I was going to say, in case people are wondering again why we go on about peanut butter and fluff or fluffernutters, the Pasquale sisters, former player Angelica Pasquale, current player Stephanie Pasquale, they were called Peanut Butter and Jelly. And so when Selena joined the team, I came up with the nickname Fluff. And that's why we like to reference that all the time.
Looks like there's some confusion off of what down it was on that last play. The Chain Gang had 4th on the last play, so it should have been a turnover on downs, but looks like the punting unit came out. And they're going to pick up the flag.
Waving off, yeah.
So it is 4th down. It's going to be Pittsburgh punting.
Yeah.
So they get the down and distance in order there on the field. So Meister will be back in the end zone to punt this one away for the Passion.
Looks like we got T. Creech back deep for Boston to receive.
And we're talking about Fournier on the season. 57 combined tackles coming in today. That was her 10th tackle for a loss on the year. This one rolls to about the 31, and the Renegades will start in offensive territory against the Passion. 21-6, trying to put some more points on the board are the Renegades.
Yeah, deep again in the Pittsburgh area, and not a shank, but not one of her best punts either. Very smart play, heads up by Boston, too, by doing the fire drill and staying away from the ball in case it took any wonky bounces. But hopefully, again, Boston will be able to capitalize this and, again, put a little more distance in between them and Pittsburgh with the score.
For Pittsburgh, you're looking for another defensive stop. They've had 3 turnover on downs already against this Renegades offense. Bonds drops back, flips it. Halfback screen for Falkowski. Falkowski, a little stutter step there, and she gets taken down at the 8-yard line. But a good move by Kate Falkowski to open up the space and get a first down, 1st and goal coming up for the Renegades.
But it looks like there's a flag on the field, though, so we'll see if that's going to come back or not. Yeah, looks like it is.
Yeah, it's a pass interference. Looks like they're calling Adrian Smith on the pass interference on the block here on the near side.
Interesting.
So Renegades will be pushed back.
So that's unfortunate because that was a great read, great reception, and then the yards after catch by Falkowski. Just a shame. So here we go. Penalties coming into play, taking away that momentum.
And here in the second half, it's both teams that have really been plagued by the penalties. Pasquale and Meckel are heading to the near side, but the audible forces them to the right. So it's 3 receivers on the right with Tully. Adrian Smith, the lone receiver here on the near side.
Looks like Pasquale was just double checking. Hopefully everyone's set.
Bonds, quick drop back, gets it over to Pasquale. Caught, spun around, and picks up about 2 yards on the reception. Late flag comes in, and we've seen a lot of laundry here in the third. He continues on that tackle.
And I'm wondering if some attitudes are starting to show with that flag.
Personal foul coming up, horse collar on Pittsburgh, so it's going to be a automatic first down coming up for the Renegades. So Pasquale was taken down by the horse collar, and another penalty this time on Pittsburgh.
You know, and I hate seeing this. You know, you want to see some nice, clean football. While, yes, it gives Boston the advantage with, you know, being able to advance the ball and give you an automatic first down. Nobody likes winning games on penalties. You know, you want to do it on your, you know, your sheer ability.
Falkowski with the run, breaks through, gets to about the 10-yard line, so we'll see if the chain gang gives them a first down. It's going to be second and short.
Just shy. All right, but the great part is you can still pick up the first down and then get 4 more tries to try and punch it into the end zone.
Falkowski, the lone running back on the right. Fake handoff by Bonds. Looks through the middle for Smith. Smith rolls in! Shante Bonds to Adrian Smith for her first career WFA touchdown.
Dang. Wow. You say, there's a reason. There is a reason why she is the record holder for receptions. Well done, well played. And, you know, again, you see that connection that they obviously have from playing together for so many years. What a great throw, what a great catch, and just, fantastic.
So Shante Bonds, her first touchdown on the year. It's going to be a free kick here for Tully as the Passion were offside. It's going to be 28-6, and Bonds connecting with Adrian Smith, as you mentioned, the all-time leading receiving yards getter in the WFA. Passed Jeanette Gray earlier this year. You know, when we were talking to Adrian Smith about that play in itself, she talked to me and she was like, yeah, I just didn't know. I had no idea. And just shows you how humble of a player she is.
You know, it's not about the records. It's about execution and winning the games and being there for your team. I mean, I know a lot of the players personally as well, and the majority of them, it's not about me. It's about the team. It's about getting that win. It's about stringing all the good plays together to, you know, to get into the end zone, to make the stops. And I think that's what makes this team really, really great, because to have that kind of mentality and culture in your locker room as well is, you know, something that some teams never find and never get. So it's awesome to see this out here on this field.
Now you got 3:11 remaining here in the third quarter. You're down 3 scores if you're Pittsburgh. Really, the key is stop getting penalties.
Exactly. I mean, the Divas faced this, you know, the past couple of times. I think every single time that they went up against the Renegades, and of course it was 3 times this year. Penalties just kill you, and if you can't execute close to perfection against this defense is not going to let up, and neither will the offense.
Give the offense a couple of more opportunities, some extra chances to score some points. They'll take advantage. Kickoff all the way back here for the Passion. A couple of lead blockers in front, but taken down is Ellison Malarski. Brings it out to about the 31, 32-yard line, so a good return there from Malarski.
And we'll see if Pittsburgh will continue with the same game plan, or will they really try to air it out a little bit more because of the time difference and the gap in the score.
We've talked about it. Marcelina Chavez has been kind of their Swiss Army knife. Haven't really seen much of her today. Jana Meister on the near side, leading receivers as well. Renegades defense keeping this Passion offense to just 6 points so far. Here's a rush up the middle. Now Futali breaks a couple of tackles, gets out to about the 47-yard line, and a first down there for the Passion.
You say that quick speed, and she saw that hole open up by her offensive line, and the defense just wasn't able to get there in time to stop her, but great run by Futali.
George in her rookie season, along with Chavez, have really helped put this program right back where they were. George pulls it back, flips it to the near side. Good pitch for Malarski. Malarski elevates and kind of hurdled or sidestepped a defender to pick up additional yardage.
But Bree Gallo was there to meet her and take her down. Bree's another one that, she may look a little smaller in stature, but she's not somebody I would want to tangle with.
Approach the 2-minute mark here in the third quarter. It'll be 2nd and 5 for the Passion on the Renegades 47. McFadden, the cornerback on the far side on Malarski. George hands it off. There's a run by Futali, but she's met immediately at the line to gain. Big hit there by Spring Gamble.
And say the Boston's number 2 tackler on the team. And I saw some comments on social media about the Divas game, and it was, hey, you were featured a lot. And I'm like, that's because she was everywhere. She was everywhere on the field. It is amazing the speed that Spring Gamble has, just chasing you down and, again, taking you down with force.
Over 50 combined tackles on the year at 26.5 were solo. Add another there for Gamble, who's 8th in WFA in tackles. Another handoff here for Futali, and she'll just lunge ahead for a gain of about 5 on the play.
It looked like he was finally tripped up by number 65, Mina Roberts. But yeah, it looks, let's see. Do we have a, nope, 69's getting up. Thought there might be an injury, but, excuse me. Looks like Pittsburgh's.
Yeah, the officials are going to call a timeout and force her to step off. Sophia Pagan will come off the field for the Passion, and Eden Pleva will come in substitution.
I'm saying they're continuing to pound the ball. Just run it and taking more time off the clock.
2nd and 7 from the 40-yard line for the Passion. George looks to the left. Some pressure there by Gamble. Now cuts right back, and George cutting in, picks up more yardage. Could have been a tackle for a loss there by Spring Gamble.
But yeah, quick sidestep by George. Gains some more yardage, and then finally taken down by the duo of Fournier and Pasquale.
Pagan checks back in. And Pittsburgh, with 4 seconds left, looks like they won't have enough time to get a playoff here at the end of the third quarter. So Renegades add 2 more here in the third stanza. 28-6 is the score as we head to the 4th and final quarter here in Revere. And the Pittsburgh Passion are moving downfield.
Yeah, some key stops and a ton of penalties. Again, if they can stop making all those penalties, they can get their momentum going and score. And then making some of those stops, they still have very much a chance. Yeah. Interesting. Let's say Pittsburgh is, I don't know if they're doing 4th quarter or I'm not sure what I think they're jazzing themselves up, pumping themselves up with some some speeches from their teammates.
Well, we also talked about the crowd here on hand. The Renegades obviously a great showing, one of the best crowds in the WFA, but I mean, no one has a better crowd, and sorry to say this here, but nobody has a better crowd than the Pittsburgh Passion. They travel well, they fill out their stands, and it's been that way since they started their program back in 2002.
And it's great that they have that following. To get the fan support, to have, to go to away games, especially, Boston or wherever, that, it's not right around the corner, that of having your fans come and support you and cheer you on and be able to watch some great football. that speaks volumes, I think, about the Pittsburgh passion and what they're doing in their organization.
Pittsburgh got to host the WFA championship back in 2017. The Renegades made it to that championship game, unfortunately falling to the Dallas Elite. What was really cool about that championship game was both teams, the Renegades and the Dallas Elite, at that point were fully funded by the players and the coaching staff themselves. They really didn't have any corporate sponsors, anything like that. Teams that really had to kind of hustle and bustle to get the teams to travel and have the equipment, the proper equipment. And you look back at 2017 and where we are now, there's some big strides in WFA.
Oh, very much so. And as being a fan, too, and going to support them, cheering them on, I went down to Pittsburgh, where I have a newfound love of Pittsburgh. It's a great city to go to and visit. But, being a fan and also wanting to support them, being a former player. They rallied Molly Goodwin, Mia Brickhouse, and Aaron Baumgartner, 3 former players, rallied together back in 2015 when right after the Boston Militia were disbanded. Within a couple of months, they were able to raise funds, submit new paperwork, create a whole new name, new logo, and it's because of those ladies that they were able to keep football in Boston. And what a organization and, I think force they have built. And it's just applause to those ladies and then all of the former players and supporters of women's football in the New England area that have kept this team going.
It was 4th and inches, and picking it up was Alyssa George on the sneak. So first down coming up for Pittsburgh as they continue to try to march downfield, get some points on the board. They haven't scored since the first drive to start this one off. They led 6-0. It's been 28 unanswered by the Renegades. And, we talk about the Renegades and their building. We're talking about this Pittsburgh Passion team. Lisa Horton, a longtime player, now on the coaching staff. Teresa Kahn has been a longtime member, founder, and supporter, now coaching. It's a team that continues to grow.
Right, and then just developing the players into coaches, which is, something I think the entire league wants to see. And we have that here, too. We have Catherine Thailander, who actually got to go to the NFL Alumni Academy for 2 weeks and spend time to, hone her coaching skills. And the cool part, it was all these NFL players, or wannabe NFL players, that, they're trying to get into the league. And she said, the weirdest thing about not going back to that was not having like 6'3" guys around her and being the shortest person around. But yes, you really love that experience, and it's great to see Ty coming back and coaching for the Renegades.
George keeps it on the scramble. Will pick up 5 yards to bring up 3rd and 1 for the Passion.
Like you say, and they're moving the ball, and they're not creating any penalties or causing any penalties. So it's amazing what they can do when they are executing and are on the ball, and everybody's on the same page.
Really, Malarski has done a good job coming off the bench to give them another boost here in the 3rd. George going to keep it here, utilize the legs, and cuts back, stays on her feet. George now with 3 Renegade defenders on her, gets taken down at about the 9-yard line. First down for the Passion.
Yeah, and again, her agility and again, I think her center of gravity and just her body style. She's tough to take down.
Good agility by George to just kind of work her way through some would-be tacklers, and even when she had some red jerseys on her, dragged them with her, so shows you her strength as well. First and goal from the 9-yard line. George over to Futali. Looks to cut it through the middle. Futali gets some contact there at about the 3 and is taken down at the 1-yard line. Good tackle there at the end of the play by Bree Gallo.
Saves a touchdown on that one.
So 2nd and goal coming up here for the Passion. It's their best looking drive since their first drive, where they got points on the board.
And I'm sure they'd like to, get more than the 8 that they had at their first meeting.
George, fake handoff, going to run through, has some blockers in front. Did she cross the line? No. She did not break the line of scrimmage.
Once again, Selena Pasquale, Fluff just stuck to her like fluff on bread.
Just forced her back.
Third down.
So 3rd and goal coming up for the Passion. George had a lane, but it closed quickly.
So quickly, and it didn't even look like they had the big package in for the defensive line. So that's awesome for the Boston defense.
Ball on the 1-yard line. Flipped over to Futali, has some blockers in front. Tries to cut through and get across the goal line, and she does not reach the ball over. It's going to bring up 4th down, and Shannon Singletary with a big stop on 3rd down.
Wow. Wow.
Now, if you're Futali, you just push yourself through and hope you get tackled in the end zone, but try to force it towards the outside a little too much, and now 4th and goal.
Yeah. I mean, what a great stop by the defense, but a little surprised, yeah, that there was no, hand motion, because sadly, I don't have the best angle right here, but I'm like, she's in. She's got to be in. It's like, no, denied.
Yeah, because you keep your eye on that far official, wait for them to signal the break of the plane, and look like Futali really wants to protect that ball, not give it up at the 1-yard line, which is smart. You have another down to do so. But again, you kind of try to draw the defender to draw you in. Great chase there by Creech, and an even better tackle by Singletary to stop Futali. 4th and goal from the 2-yard line. Pittsburgh needs points, and they need them in a hurry.
Nice, LD. Nice, LD. Yep, and here comes the dark side for the Boston Renegades. That's what they like to call their defense.
George met at the line, but spins off and runs in, scores the touchdown. Alyssa George with 6 points on the board for the Passion. It's 28-12.
Like you say, that's got to be a victory for Pittsburgh, because to be stopped a second time on the line is, so close. I mean, good for Pittsburgh for just continuing to pound that ball. But some great defensive stops by Boston. Excuse me.
So 10:34 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Pittsburgh will line up for the field goal.
I'm surprised they're not going to try for maybe a 2-point conversion, or maybe go for...
Actually, that's what they will do. I saw Meister out there, but George is in the huddle, so George will take it as shotgun. 2 receivers to both sides. It's going to be a timeout on the field. It's going to be a timeout for Boston. So the Renegades use one timeout here, as Pittsburgh came out in the 2-point conversion formation.
And that makes sense, because if they can actually get that 2-point conversion, they can potentially cut it down to a 2-score game. Obviously, if they just went for the field goal, they'd have to do a little bit more, a little bit extra.
Trying to make it a 2-possession game here with 10:34 remaining. We were talking about Pittsburgh and being hyped on the sideline to start this 4th quarter. Really, 10:34 remaining in the rest of their season. If they cannot make the comeback here, got to build off of the defensive stops and force this Renegades defense into mistakes.
And potentially the Boston offense into mistakes as well, because we saw couple series that Boston was having the penalty issue of doing some things, and then also not being on the same page and not being able to actually punch it in.
George in the single back formation, 2 receivers on both sides. Malarski on the left, Meister in the slot. Meister, nice little move there to get open on the right side, but the pass might have been deflected there on the tip by Selena Pasquale. Just couldn't get over to Jenna Meister, so it stays 28-12.
And she may not be the Burgermeister Meisterburger. But that's a great defensive stance, keeping it to more than 2-score lead against the Pittsburgh Passion.
Boston offense will get another chance here in the 4th to put some more points on.
You say, and I'll apologize to the fans out there. Schwartzy got her second booster, and it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's making my immune system react quite well, and so I'm a little bit hoarse and a little bit of shamung. My sister knows what that is. So apologies for the hoarse voice and the occasional. Sorry, I have to stop talking for a bit to get rid of that shamung.
How about a big shout out to Alyssa George's dad, who's rocking the 27 jersey. Saying Sissy's dad on it.
Brilliant.
Onside kick, but off the hands of Pittsburgh. It's going to be Renegades ball. It didn't go 10 yards, so.
But good heads up play. It looks like Guy Lunas came up with the ball. That was, I think, a very well executed onside kick from the perspective of Pittsburgh not touching it and then Boston just being all over it, even though it didn't actually go the full 10 yards. I mean, even if it did, that's still just, I think, excellent protection, excellent heads up by Pittsburgh, and then having the hands team out there for Boston to just fall on it and keep possession.
So Renegades go back to work, leading 28-12 here in the fourth quarter. Luis Sanchez with Kathy Schwartzy. Proud to be with you here for the WFA National Conference Championship. There's a pass to Tully on the near side. She's met immediately but holds on. Good tackle by Damon, but Sarah Tully, good hands.
Good hands and able to take the hit. So again, 5 yards on first down set you up great for the next set of downs.
Pasquale will move over to the left. Tully remains on the right. Adrian Smith, the receiver, on the left side. It's Bonds who keeps it. Bonds looks for a lane. Good stiff arm and gets the first down. That stiff arm really allowed her to pick up those extra 2 yards that she needed.
That it did, and that's just good heads up running and knowing where your defenders are and being able to have the strength to do that stiff arm.
Falkowski as well has done a really good job leading the way on blocks. We've seen her rushing the ball well today, but even just opening up those alleys for Bonds to pass the ball or even just get the lane to run. This time it's Falkowski. Spins off one, finds a lane on the right side. Bonds throws a block. Now Falkowski with the lane. Turns the corner and is forced out of bounds to Renegades. First down.
And again, great heads up, and she knows exactly when to turn the afterburners on and just be able to hit that corner, and she turns that corner. Pittsburgh wasn't able to keep up with her. Nice run.
Good job reading the play, too. It kind of broke down in front of her. Had to utilize the cavalry of blockers on the right side, and she did turn the corner and picked up some additional yards. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 17 for the Renegades. Passes behind Pasquale. She's going to have to hold that one. That was backwards pass. Could have been a fumble recovery for Pittsburgh.
Second and 10 Boston.
Forces.
Almost looks like, no, I guess it was a forward pass, but just fell incomplete, luckily. But good heads up. You never know of Pasquale falling on it.
2nd and 10 for the Renegades. Kusanan on the right side. Bonds trying to put Pasquale in the right position. Gets the block in front. Kusanan. Some more blockers. Now Kusanan.
Almost a horse call.
Almost, but Kusanan still stays up. Rushes and chugs along. Dives into the end zone. Tuti Kusanan. 4 touchdowns on the evening. 34-12. The Renegades lead.
Get ready for that boom. I was going to say right before the run, you mentioned how George's dad is sporting the number 27, Sissy's dad's jersey, which is awesome. I also see that he's a fan of the Deacon Giles Distillery canned cocktails, so thank you for your support, Sissy's dad. We appreciate it, and we hope you enjoy those lovely, tasty cocktails.
Always a great atmosphere here in Revere at Harry Del Russo Stadium. Kick is up and good by Ali Guimares. 35-12, Renegades now lead.
There we go, and there's the boom. I gotta say, I love watching the field goal refs. It's almost like a wave with two people. The first ref signals that it's good, and then the second ref signals that it's good. So it's kind of like, oh, hey, is that like a cheer? Probably not. They have to be unbiased when it comes to calling the games. But in my own mind, it's like, ooh, a mini wave.
Well, later on tonight, you can catch the Minnesota Vixen taking on the Cali War in the American Conference Championship. The winner of that game will play the winner of this one. They'll meet in Canton, Ohio at the Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. That will be on July 10th.
That's right, July 10th. Also known as, I'll let this slip, that is Schwartzy's birthday. And Schwartzy has celebrated many a birthday with the Boston Renegades and the Boston Militia. Most of them have been wonderful times with wins. So I'm hoping to continue that tradition down in Canton.
So results hold, you're making that trip to Canton.
That is true, yep.
Can catch Schwartzy there before these games happen that weekend. That's fielded off the hands, Molarski, and that's going to go out of bounds. So catching a break there are the Passion.
It looks like she, Molarski lost sight of it. It bounced off her chest, and she didn't quite know where it went. Very lucky for the Passion that it went out of bounds, because there were some red shirts very quickly down there to recover that ball.
When you're kind of in the sight now where the skyline, the sunset is setting, you get that kind of orangey, bluish mixture. The lights aren't on yet here at Harry De La Russo Stadium, so it kind of makes it a little tricky to field it.
Yeah, it's like not quite the twilight, but yeah, it's like you said, it makes it difficult to see because we don't have the lights on yet. I imagine maybe in the next 5 or 10 minutes they might start to pop on, but this game is actually going so fast, I'd be surprised if they do turn them on.
So rush for a first down on the right side. Mutali has really looked good here in the second half, finding lanes and breaking tackles to pick up, the additional yards after contact.
Right, and again, another running back who knows when to turn the jets on, and just she's got that speed to almost second level, second gear, I guess I should say, to then be like, okay, yeah, here's my break. I'm going to put on the gas and get a few more extra yards.
Good to see Caroline Glenn out there, the DB from Stamford, Connecticut, playing cornerback here on the near side. George spiraled down, but some contact early. It's going to be a pass interference penalty coming up. Looks like Creech just thought the pass was going to get there to Meister before it did, so put some contact on her, but that was a good call there by the officials. Definitely pass interference.
Yeah. That'll get it called every time. Yeah. And here we are again with penalties. This is giving Pittsburgh some momentum, letting them to continue to move that ball. So here we go. Now the chain gang's finally moving.
It's going to be 1st and 10 coming up for the Passion. At the 48-yard line in Renegades territory. George looks to the left. That one on the hands. Good catch. And quickly tackled there by Glenn. But a nice catch on the near side by Quaylen Pitts. Pitts comes back to the left side. Under 8 minutes to play here in the 4th. George back to the right side.
Oh, yeah.
And going back for it, making the catch. Jenna Meister reached back for that one. Another first down here for the Passion.
And it looks like Vincent just lost sight of her for a second. And this is what we were talking about, of George just airing it out to her receivers and marching down the field in a very short amount of time.
Renegades take their second time out here. 7:38 remaining in the 4th quarter.
I imagine it's somewhat to settle them down a little bit. Get them all on the same page.
So 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line. Pittsburgh has done a really good job here in back-to-back series, moving downfield, against the tough Renegades defense. Taking advantage of the penalties as well.
Yep, and we'll see if the ones that are in the run zone, if they can punch it in again.
George in the shotgun. Gives it up Futali. Futali cuts back right through the middle, and Futali goes all the way into the end zone. Touchdown, wow. Pittsburgh.
Yep. It's like basically untouched by the Renegades. You see her running, and there were no red shirts around her. You say with that quick score, at least plenty of time to be interesting to see if they try another onside kick to try and recover it, or if they'll actually put it up for their defense to stop the Renegades.
They'll go for two for the third time today, unsuccessful on the first two. George, Futali on the right. George follows some blockers, looks for the pass in the end zone, just over the head of Meister, and another failed conversion, and those are points off the board there for Pittsburgh, 35-18 with 7:30 remaining here in the fourth.
Saying they've more than doubled the points that they scored in that first meeting with Boston, and have also then kept Boston to below their normal high-scoring offense.
Yeah, for the Renegades, haven't scored less than 46 points in a game this season. Right now at 35.
So we'll see what special teams is going to do, and see if they have the confidence in their defense to make the stop, or if they're going to try a little trickery and get their offense back out there.
Yeah, you could see Kashani Dumont, T. Creech kind of moving up towards past the 40. Creech is going to just be at the 40, works her way up now.
Yep, and it all looks like the hands team too. I mean, you see all the receivers out there. Adrian Smith, Renati Meckel.
You can see Adrian Smith calling out that 10-yard line. That's where it needs to go to her players. This one, nice little hop, fielded nicely.
Oh!
Big hit there on the field. Good job just holding on to that one. On the near side was Shannon Singletary.
Dang, that was, wow. It's like she, got down to great hands, but man, she got plowed.
Boston take it over on the 48-yard line.
But yeah, like you said, great hands and being able to hold on to that ball after getting the snot knocked out of her.
So 1st and 10 for the Renegades with 7:27 remaining. 48-yard line is where they'll start. Kusanan picking up the touchdown here in the fourth. Over to the near side for Falkowski. Has some blockers in front. Falkowski, so fast, she outran her blockers on the near side and is forced out of bounds. Good tackle there on the near side by Ellison Malarski.
I think that's sometimes a good thing to happen, that you outrun your blockers, that you are so fast, and you still can actually get around the corner of the defense and have to be forced out of bounds. Well done by Katie.
Bonds takes the handoff, keeps it to the left, runs and gets some contact there at the 30, and now driven back.
But yeah, luckily they're giving her forward progress. So.
And on that tackle was Caitlin Niedermeyer.
Second and 7.
Good to see her back out there. Had to take a breather earlier in the game and had the wind knocked out of her.
That she did. Yep. Officials made her take a play off.
Bonds gets the snap over to Falkowski. Looks for a lane through the middle, and she's taken down at the 25-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 1 yard, 1.5 yards here for the Renegades.
So very manageable. I mean, smart clock management by Boston. running the ball, taking the time off the clock, but still being able to advance and hopefully maintain possession.
Kusanan rushes through, and now just bulldozes her way to the 19-yard line. It's going to be a first down for the Renegades.
Tootie, again, just the leg strength that she has is just incredible. How she forces herself forward. You know, she's wrapped up. The defender's like almost pushing her over towards the Boston sideline, but
Bonds looks to the left. Nice juke step. Passes over to Pasquale. Pasquale, a little stiff arm, and a good tackle there by Chavez, who came in on the play late. Not happy with the contact there with Pasquale at the end of the play.
Nope, but yeah, little bit, just a little bit on that one. But I was going to say, yeah, that the fact that Tootie can then force that defender with that leg strength just back towards the end is impressive.
2nd and 9 for the Renegades.
Yep, just 5 minutes, a little over 5 minutes to play.
Handoff, met immediately by George.
Wow. So George is a quadruple threat as well.
How about that? Listen, George with the tackle there on Falkowski to force a big third down, 3rd and 9.
Yep, leaving it all out on the field because Pittsburgh knows the winner of this game gets to advance. The loser, that's the end of your season.
Bonds with some pressure on the right, hands it off. Nice little drop pass to Falkowski. Juke step. Falkowski taken down. Looks like a horse collar on the tackle, so it's going to add some additional yards there on the play.
So I think we saw that last game too, that there was a horse collar called. I talked with Katie after the game, and it was actually, she got taken down by her hair. But maybe there was a little bit of the jersey, not sure. But for anyone not in the know, your hair is part of your uniform. So as long as they don't get you inside, but yeah, it looks like a horse collar against Falkowski. But you can tackle somebody by their hair as long as you don't grab the inside of their shoulder pads and take them down by the horse collar.
So
that's one of the reasons I don't have long hair.
Well, I'm with you on that. My hair is short as it can be, as close as bald can get.
Yep. But I've you've seen some of the players in the NFL too being taken down by their hair and their braids and their dreadlocks, and it's like that just looks like it hurts.
Smith on the near side gets the contact, tries to roll off the blocker in front, but stopped just short. Looked like Bonds wanted to make it 2 for Adrian Smith here tonight.
Yep. And again, we've got Georgian on the tackle, just running across the field, and kind of like Spring Gamble, she's just everywhere. Or here's an oldie but a goodie. Saguafair, he's everywhere.
Smith on the left side. Bonds takes the handoff, gives it up, and now they're a good stop in the backfield. That's Malarski this time, and a personal foul coming up.
Yeah, that's
some undisciplined.
Exactly. That's your mental game going into the pooper. That's something that you don't want to see on any team. Emotions get to you, but you want to end it on a good note. You don't want to be that person who's like, either hurting somebody, injuring somebody, because you can't control your emotions.
Jacqueline Cook assessed the personal foul there and gets a couple of head taps from her teammates to say that's not how we want to do it, and good response there by Cook. So we get back to play here. 1st and goal for the Renegades. 3:31 remaining. 35-18 the score. Bonds looks to the right, gets a block, trying to get it through, but another flag on the play. Falkowski had a big block there.
Yeah, she did, yeah.
Bonds couldn't find the alley.
Oh, we got a chop block.
So it's going to be an offensive penalty here on the Renegades. Chop block on the Renegades.
Against Boston.
So 3:24, and Boston gets pushed back after getting a penalty. They give one back to the Passion.
Mm-hmm. And and there's reasons why you don't do chop blocks, because again, that's where people can get hurt. Because with chop blocks, that's when you have one person engaged up top and then another player coming in and hitting them down low. And that could be very, very dangerous to do for anyone getting chop blocked.
You see a lot of football programs kind of trying to eliminate that play. Bonds waits for the play to develop. Falkowski, some blockers in front. Falkowski goes into the end zone. Renegades touchdown. And that might be the dagger here for Boston as they make it 41-18 with 3 minutes to play in the fourth quarter.
Booyah. Way to go, Falco. Here comes the boom.
Boom.
Ooh. That was a 2 for 3 on that boom. I say maybe we can blame it on the humidity, but yeah.
And Kay Falkowski has really had a hand in each of these Renegades victories down the stretch, whether it's DC at the end of the season, DC during the first round of the playoffs, and even here today, she's really given Tuti Kusanen a little day, some time off on the sideline.
Yeah, some breathers, because Tuti's just been chugging along and taking the hits, and it's great to see that Katie's been able to take some of that load and still be producing and scoring and adding to this Boston Renegades lead. That's versatility. That's what you want on every football team.
So 3 minutes remain, and the Renegades hold the lead 42-18.
Wow. I'm gonna have to buy gas in bulk for that road trip out to Canton. I think the great part, so you've met Doris Sheldon, right?
Yes.
So Sue Sheldon used to play for the Boston Renegades. She was part of the, I want to say, 2018 championship team. And so Doris is her mom. Well, unfortunately, Sue can't make it down to the championship game because she typically, she and her family and Doris all come down and cheer on the team. Well, Doris came up to me. She's like, Schwartzy, are you going? I'm like, of course I'm going. She's like, can I go with you? And I'm like, yes, you can. So I think we're going to have to do a Schwartzy and Doris field trip, road trip, kind of like we're going old school, Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra on the road to Canton.
Well, this is when social media would be handy for you. You could do a TikTok road trip or something, just document it as you go on this trip.
That's true. Maybe I will have to become a member of TikTok or just do reels on Instagram.
Big run on the right side. Malarski, Ellison had some big blocks, and she picks up a huge return on that kickoff. Down to about the 35-yard line in Renegades territory.
Wow. And I love the fact that Pittsburgh is not giving up. They're like, you know what? Whatever the score is, we're still going to leave it out on the field, and hopefully
once again, before the game ends,
everybody plays nice, shall we say, and see some more good football. But yeah, I have a feeling there's going to be a couple of episodes at the Waffle House.
It's been a day dominated by the run game, so both teams really started it off with back and forth play. It was a 14-6 game at the half, but Boston has really turned it up here in the third and fourth quarter.
Time out, Boston. And just in case you missed what I just said, adult beverages would be gladly accepted up here. We cannot leave the booth, so we are not opposed to any adult.
I can say, while we're taking this time out, we'd like to thank our WFA sponsors, KT Tape, Wilson, Coors Light, NFL Alumni Academy, Secret, Aid Nation, Zenith, Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company. Without you, we wouldn't be here today, so thank you so much for your support of the WFA.
So many great people across the country, across the world, really impacting this game. And if it weren't for you, we wouldn't be here and we wouldn't have this great sport, these great athletes to talk about and cover. On the right side, Futali breaks a couple of tackles and picks up about 4 yards on the play.
Was that Selena again? Nope, that was 49.
49?
Who that?
Melissa Cadet.
Melissa Cadet, yep.
Cadet.
Cadet.
Cadet on the stop.
product from Malden, Massachusetts. 2nd and 6 here for the Passion. George surveys the field, looks for the long pass through the middle for Chavez.
Nice.
Chavez with the good hands and goes into the end zone untouched. George to Chavez for the touchdown, and Pittsburgh puts some points on the board.
And that's one of those things if you wonder why they haven't done that sooner and more often.
Thank you very much.
What's
42-24, and Chavez, we talked about it. Marcelina Chavez, the threat offensively, has really been held in check throughout this one, but a good catch there gets a touchdown on the board and maybe some momentum going into next year.
I was going to say, we have some lovely visitors up in the booth right now handing out Allagash Whites. Having spent some time in the beer industry, I can tell LD that the Allagash White is a Belgian-style wit that has a little bit of citrus flavoring with hints of coriander and sometimes banana, depending on the esters from the yeast being used. Yes, Schwartzy is also a bit of a beer geek. I'm not a beer snob by any means. I will drink anything that's cold and free, but I do like my wit beers, and I do like my Hefeweizens.
Well, a lot of celebration going on, especially on the Renegades sideline as they lead 42-24 with 2:10 remaining in the fourth quarter.
I can say this is another time where we've got a palindrome for the scoreboard. I was watching the DC Diva game at one point in time too. We were 62-26, and it's like, wow, we seem to have a thing for palindromes. So once again, cementing my status as a geek, knowing what a palindrome is.
Pittsburgh ready to kick off here with 2:10 remaining. Nice little onside kick attempt. It hits right at the line. That looks like a good onside kick, and Pittsburgh has it. Great recovery on the kick, onside kick by the Passion, and they'll have some more chances to put some points on the board.
I think that was a very lucky hop on that one. For where it went. It just, that's the joy of having a football with that weird oblong shape. It hit it and just spiked right up. So there's still some life going on in this Pittsburgh team, and obviously doing that hand raise and keeping that motivation high. You say Boston had a bit of a loss for their defense and scrambling to get into position.
Handoff through the middle.
Yep, Futali again.
Futali picks up 4 yards on the carry. So 2nd and 6 coming up for the Passion. 2 minutes on the board.
So, again, interesting that they're going with the run game, and especially with the confusion on the defense. I am surprised that they did not come out there and have George just throw up another Hail Mary pass to Chavez, because I have a feeling that she probably could have gotten past the defense on that last play, but maybe they're going with the tried and true and just going with the run.
Try to catch the Renegades, maybe guessing pass and go for a run that opens it up, but 2-minute warning here in Revere. Renegades lead 42-24. Passion trying to get some more momentum again. It's a big game for this team moving forward. George drops back. Nice throw downfield. The catch off the hands.
Oh!
Almost caught there by Chavez, and coming in on the play was Meister as well. Almost had a chance on that deflected ball.
Exactly, almost pulling like an Edelman on that
Was it McFarland or was it Singletary?
on that deflection.
Great deflection.
Give them both the credit.
3rd and 6 coming up for the Passion. You talked about it. They have to take chances downfield. That's a good chance by George, just off the hands of Chavez.
Coming up for Pittsburgh.
Yep. And, yeah, they're going to be a contender next year. That's for dang sure. Again, I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, because I mean there's still time and they're still advancing the ball, so we shall see what happens.
Let's hear it.
George gets the snap, rolls to the right, has a lane, tries to beat one defender, and she does. Going to pick up the first down and step out of bounds.
Yep. Good heads-up play.
Pittsburgh picks up the first down.
Alyssa George has been all over it for the Passion. Continues to work downfield and give them an opportunity to stay in this contest. And you talked about it. We've seen crazier things happen in football.
Yep, I mean, I have to say that I was part of the 2009 Boston Militia, where again Cahill did a scramble, scored against the Divas. We had a kickoff, got kicked to I think it was Wilkerson, and she returned it for a touchdown, dashing all of our hopes and dreams.
There's a intercepted!
Interception
By the Renegades!
Who got it?
That's a way to put a cap on this one.
I can't see. Who made it?
Shannon Singletary
I think it was Singletary. Yeah.
with the interception.
With the interception.
Puts a bookmark in this one. 42-24 in the defense, which has been the story all day long for Boston.
Yeah, and that's a surprising mistake by George, because she has been spot on, like you said, throwing dimes all day down the field. But what a coup for Singletary to pretty much shut it down.
Shannon Singletary, the Brockton, Mass native, works in law enforcement. Might have some friends calling her about that thievery.
She says.
Falkowski taken down.
It's only illegal if you get caught, right? So, no, just kidding.
Second and 5.
Renegades will look to run the clock out here. Ball on the 46-yard line. And again, really, you have to talk about what Shantae Bonds has been able to do at quarterback here today for the Renegades. Really managed the game well, threw the ball with confidence, ran the ball when she saw a hole, and really did a good job feeding Tuti Kusanan and Katie Falkowski.
Agreed. It just shows her football knowledge and her ability to manage the game, manage the clock, and instill that confidence in her teammates too. Like they know she's got their back, and she knows they all have her back.
Renegades.
I mean, the other thing too is, I'm sorry to cut you off, that the fact that Shantae hasn't been seen. There's no film on Shantae as a quarterback, so. You know, crafty strategery? I don't know.
Well, Renegades faithful stand to their feet as they are heading to another WFA championship with sights set on number 4 here in Boston. Bond's going to take a knee, and that's going to kill the clock. The Boston Renegades will advance to the WFA championship game on July 10th. Victory against the Pittsburgh Passion, 42-24.
Here we go on the quest for Quattro. Road to Canton, here we come. Well done. What a great season, Lewis. Thank you so much, Pete.
Good luck in Canton.
Thank you, sir. We're saying goodbye to our awesome in-booth official of the scoreboard, but Lewis, thank you so much. Such an awesome time. I have learned so much from you. I still have so much more to learn, but I appreciate your kindness, your energy, your professionalism. It has been great working with you.
Well, it's a pleasure to work with you. Hopefully we'll do it again next year. For our wonderful production crew, our amazing cameramen and women here at Harry Della Russo Stadium, it's the Boston Renegades advancing to another WFA championship with a win against the Pittsburgh Passion, 42-24 the final here from Revere.